happiest of Fridays. And welcome to another edition of 5 Horror Movie Fun Facts starring me. And today I am doing a newer movie because I just watched it and I thought it was really good and I want to share it with you guys. I also read the book for it. So, yeah, let's just get into it. Today's movie, The Long Walk, 2025. Incidentally, this one is on all the major streaming services, I believe. So if you didn't catch it in the theater, you could probably catch it on Prime or one of the other places that you like to go. Fun fact number one, Stephen King wrote this novel in 1979 and was widely believed to be a criticism of the Vietnam War. Now, Stephen King has said to that it makes sense, but he didn't do it on purpose. He said, and I quote, "You write from your times, so certainly that was what was in my mind, but I never thought about it consciously. I was writing a kind of brutal thing. It was hopeless and just what you write when you're 19 years old, man. You're full of beans and you're full of cynicism, and that's the way it was." Which, while he says that it wasn't on purpose, I can definitely see how this movie translates into that, especially in this day and age. Fun fact number two. So in August, the studios put on a special screening where moviegoers had to walk on a treadmill for the duration of the movie. Everybody had to keep a pace of 3 miles per hour as the characters do in the movie, and anyone who couldn't keep up or had to drop out had to, which is a fabulous idea that I would not do. But that's just fun fact number three. So a couple of people were supposed to direct this movie through the years. George A. Romero was slated to direct it in '88, and of course Frank Darabont, I think, bought the rights at one point and held on to them until they expired. But the one who got to direct this version of this movie was Francis Lawrence. Now, if you don't know who Francis Lawrence is, you have seen his work before. The thing that he's most popular for directing has been the Hunger Games series, I Am Legend, Constantine. But also, if you liked any music video in the early 2000s, he was probably the reason why. Just a quick short list of some of the videos that he directed in the 2000s. Beyonce's Run the World video, Lady Gaga's Bad Romance, Nine Inch Nails' Every Day is Exactly the Same, Pussycat Dolls' Buttons, which is one of my favorite videos. But you know, every director has to start somewhere, and that is definitely in his catalog. Fun fact number four. So there's a lot of diversity in this movie, which was on purpose. In the 1979 novel, the majority of the characters were white. But I mean, keep in mind, this is a book written by a white dude from Maine in 1979. Of course, most of the characters are going to be white. The characters of Peter McVries and Art Baker were both white. Hank Olson was also white. One of the most interesting changes to me that I feel like was more of a combination of characters was the character of Collie Parker, seen here. Collie Parker is a Native American dude in this movie, where in the book he was a big blonde white guy. But in the book, there was a Native American character. There were two, actually, that were brothers. And I feel like there were aspects of those characters that they kind of blended in. Like, I feel like Collie Parker in the movie was more of a composite character than he was in the book. But I mean, also in the book, there were way more of them. They started with 100 of them instead of 50. So finally, fun fact number five. And this is where we're really in the weeds of the spoiler alert. So if you hung out this far and you don't want to know how this movie ends, you should favorite this, go watch the movie, and come back. One of the major changes from book to movie is the winner of The Long Walk. The winner in the book was Ray Garrity, our protagonist throughout the movie. In the book, he gets to the very end and he's won, but he's kind of out of it, and he sees a dark figure in the crowd, pushes past the major, and he goes towards the dark figure, and the story ends. In the movie, played by David Johnson, who's way over here, this guy, he and the protagonist end up being the last two, and he ends up winning the walk. But instead of the ambiguous ending of the book, he gets a gun and shoots the major. Mark Hamill, who plays the major in this movie, commented that he had some concerns about, well, the ending and a lot of the big changes to the film. See, the other thing about the film is that Ray Garrity didn't really have an extensive backstory the way he does in the movie. So they gave him a backstory to make the ending pop, as it were. Mark Hamill's fears, though, were put to rest when Stephen King signed off on this end. On it, he said, and I quote, I said to Lawrence, if I've done my job correctly, when I get shot, the whole audience should erupt in applause. And after a couple of test screenings, he said, you'll be pleased to know there's a big cheer when you get it. So yeah, and I personally, I like both endings, but I appreciated the movie's ending a lot. And a bonus fact, if you are paying attention during the walk, you may see a parked car on the side of the road that is engulfed in flame. That car is a shout out to 1983's Christine. And that is it for this week's 5 horror movie fun facts. Join me again next week. We'll now have another. Bye.